Hello and welcome to Put2 Practice Cooking. Today we are going to be making French macaroons. This can be kind of a difficult recipe. Um, it's very precise, and make sure you kind of do it right, because one mistake can mean you have to throw the whole batch out because it won't turn out right. So I want to make sure to go as slow as possible with my instructions, but there will be still some speed up during the stirring and whatnot, as per usual. So let's get started. All right, so first off, what we're going to do is get our almond flour and our powdered sugar in here. I'm just going to sift it through here. We got to make sure we don't get any clumps, because just as fine as possible, otherwise you'll get cracks and it won't turn out as well. So we'll go with this first. All right, so that will be about it. I didn't get exactly all of it in because they were too big of a chunks. If you want to just make sure that that doesn't happen, just put your almond flour into a blender and just make sure it gets super fine, more than what mine was. Just gonna stir this real quick. Just so it's good and incorporated. Okay, that should be good. All right, now we're gonna get set up for the meringue. We're gonna need to do this. I'll be right back. All right, so here we are at our meringue. We're going to be making a meringue up to stiff peaks, which means that after you stir this and pull it out, it will come out as a point rather than a curl over. We got to make sure it's only stiff and not overmixed or not soft, because it will mess with the whole thing. So as like the first time, we are going to mix this up until it gets foamy. After that point, we're going to put in a little bit of cream of tartar to make it go faster. Just to show you guys, we have it a little bit foamy, so there's enough to get in there. Now we got this. We're only using a pinch, which would be a 16th teaspoon, so it's not going to be too much. Put that in there. All right. Now we're going to stir this for a bit and slowly add sugar, but I'm going to let it incorporate first before I start this up, so we'll get back to it. Okay, so it's getting about soft peaks, so I'm going to add in the blueberry extract. I'll repeat again with flavoring oil. I'll be very careful with it, so that's why I'm using a dropper. And I was told last batch I made was a little bit light, so. And I know blueberries are actually purple, but I'm using blue because most people see it as blue. So. Ooh, okay, well, this is going to be kind of I think this might be a bit darker than I was wanting now, but we'll see how that goes. Should hopefully be enough. All right, let's get going. Okay, so we are at it because what we're looking for is, I'll show it properly to the camera. So we're looking for that. That is pretty much what we're needing because we're needing that because we need that because it's staying like that. It's not curling over, so that's perfect what we want. So now I got to do the process of getting this off, so we're not wasting any of this. Gotta say, this looks more like blue raspberry than blueberry, but I guess that's just the color. So, all right. That's gonna be good enough. All right, we'll be right back. I'm just gonna get our stuff ready for the folding. Okay, we are back. So now we're going to put our meringue into the dough. Okay, we got to make sure with this, we don't want to overdo it, so only gently flip it with the paddle, because if you do too much, then it will overmix and it can really just ruin it. So this time around, you're going to want to make sure just to get the whole thing in there. All right, so here we go. So now we're going to go as deep as we can and flip it. And we'll do that again, kind of press down. Keep going with that. Because we're going to be looking for a pancake batter kind of consistency. Eventually this will be all one and incorporated, so I'm going to keep going until the powder is same with the soft. See, now we're getting all the kind of the clumps in there, all lumpy, and that's what we're going for. But as you can see, we still miss some of it. That's what we're hoping to avoid. Good, that was what we want. We don't want it a solid mass, but we also don't want it. We also don't want it to. There we go. It's okay if you have a little bit left. I had a little bit left when I made it last time, but still should be good. So now let me make sure I get all of you off. Make sure you can get in there. All right. So let me grab our. Hello, this is post Egan. Just want to make sure to do, because I made a mistake with this, the traced one. Make sure it's underneath your mat, because I don't know if that affects it at all, but I'm just making sure to do that because I made that mistake. Otherwise, it should be fine. They turned out decently well, so I think it's fine. Just pre-warning you. Pans we're going to be using. All right, so here's our macaroon pans. These are really great because they already have the perfect sizes for them. But one thing we got to do first is make sure we get our piping bag, because once it gets on here, it's going to be, we need to let them set. We'll grab that real quick. So here's our first one. So you got to be careful. You got to be ready for once you have these in, because once they're coming out, they're going to be coming out. So I'm going to hopefully be able to get this in here without much issue. Trying not to squeeze the bag in any way, because I'm afraid that it's gonna come out if I start that. There's still so much left. Okay, hold on. Okay, well, what I will do is that I will just finish the rest of them off camera, since it's going to take too long for that last little bit of batter. So I'm going to put this in so I get this tape off. I'm using as a makeshift cork, so because once I start, this is going to get going. So there you go. And make sure you start at the bottom as much as you can, because you want it to be able to fill up. All right. Well, I'm just going to say this, just make sure you try to get rid of all your tips if you can. You can use kind of whatever you want. I still have a little bit left, so I'm going to try to put it in another bag, because this one's kind of all messed up now. So I will be right back. And we are back. I think those turned out pretty well. So but before we even think about putting them in the oven, we're going to let them sit. And we're going to have to let the outside solidify. The way you know that will be done is if it stops shining, and if I would suggest maybe just a light touch after a while, and make sure that it's solid. You'll feel like a light, like almost like a hard candy coating, but like super light. So I'll be back when that gets there. All right, we are back. We've gotten to the consistency that we want after the wait. So we got the oven heated up to 325, and we're going to do this for 8 to 10 minutes. Just make sure to check them. That's way to check is you'll see the little you'll see that it has grown like little feet is what it's called. But also make sure that if just like gently tap the pan, it's still jiggling a little bit. Definitely needs a bit more. And I'm doing 2 batches, which is what this makes. One of them will likely still be there. So if one of them's done, take it out, and then once the other one, take the other one and put it back on the top rack so that it cooks better. So I'm gonna put that in real quick. All right, so I'm going to set it for 10 minutes, but I'll check it around 8, see where it's at, and make sure it doesn't burn. So see you then. And we are back. I will say they came out a little uglier than my last batch I did. I think to be honest, I think they turned out a little bit better last time because they were more closer to soft peaks. So I would probably say next time around, just make sure they're like not exactly soft peaks, but not exactly firm peaks either. So we got them going. Some of them are a little bit. So one thing you gotta do is make sure to let them cool. After done, this is just a little cookie scraper, so nothing special. You can just use a spatula, because you do not want to pull these straight up, because they will likely be stuck to the non-stick mat that is on there, and they will likely just hollow out your cookie. So you don't want that. So at this point, normally I would be making a filling for this. It'd be a cream filling of sorts, and but I still have plenty of left over from my last one, so it's currently actually cooling off on the counter. So once these are cooled and everything, we'll get a decorating page. From the looks of some of these, likely we'll have a couple bad ones that we won't be able to use much, but usually what you do in that case is that if it's usable still, just make that the bottom part of the cookie. No one really looks at the bottom. So we're back when that gets to that point. All right, so we are back. I did a little work off camera. I made sure to find their top and bottoms. They turned out a little bit better, and unfortunately this guy is by himself. I did test. It was kind of really tougher than what I'm usually used to, so I kind of poked it in. Looks like it's pretty decent, but I'm at least going to try it because this is leftovers. I can't place it, but it reminds me of something. But it's really good. I'll finish that later. Okay, so this is our filling we're going to be using. It's the recipe's down in the description, so since I'm not making it, you can make it separately. This is in a Ziploc bag because I forgot my when I made them last time, I forgot to get more piping bags. So essentially what we're doing, we're just going to be putting this on each of the cookies and then just put them in a container, put in the fridge because they are much better the next day. So we're gonna get started with that. And also here, you can see there's a little bit of browning, you know, like that sort of means you're kind of cooked them a little bit too long, I think. But I mean, a couple of mine were burnt when I had them or browned last time I did it, so I think it was fine. All right, there we go. There's all our macaroons made. Can't wait to see how they turned out. This actually worked out perfectly because so can my folks and my brother can try it out. So that'll be amazing. So we'll have the taste test tomorrow. As I said, these are way better the next day. So I'm going to put these in the fridge and then leave them alone until they are done tomorrow. And before you do serve them, though, make sure you let them de-cool off. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's warm at the room temperature is what I meant. But yeah, I think these turned out really good. I will see you in a few minutes. All right, and we are back. So let's see how well these turned out the day after. That's definitely very blueberry, and some. I think the perfect amount, but I had one of my had my roommate try it out, and Maria's friend, and I kind of agree with him. You don't really taste much of the cream, not really much flavor there. I think next time I'll have to try maybe some kind of flavored cream for it. But but otherwise, I think they turned out really well, except for a little bit uglier than they were supposed to be. But still think they're good. I mean, taste is the only thing that matters a bit about it, right? So hope you have a good rest of your day, and hope your macarons taste just as good as mine.